Welcome, guys. This is our second YouTube video / podcast, whatever you want to call it, Shot to 3D Experience. We got the crew here, Brian Thomas at the end, Tim Gregg, Jeremy Budgick, Amber Jones. We just finished up our first day of the Tulsa Indoor Classic at the Oklahoma Boat Expo. You guys want to talk about that, Brian? How'd it go?
Had a pretty good turnout, man. The weather did not detour as many people as I thought it would. We had a lot of snow here last night. Pretty rough, but the main roads are pretty good getting in, and I don't remember how many we had altogether, but I felt like we were busy all day long. It was pretty good turnout. We saw some guys we haven't seen in a while and saw some new faces, so that's always fun.
Yeah, I think the total was around 34 shooters for a Friday with snow on the ground, a lot of people at work, a lot of people texting us saying we can't make it, we're in Kansas or Missouri or whatever. We did have some people from Kansas come down. Nick Dawa and his wife came down. Shout out to them, Unbound Archery Strings. Really thankful that they came. But we understand, it snowed at my house like 7-8 inches last night, so it is what it is.
Yeah, we had a lot of the people who were more local were here today because it was more convenient. I know I drove up yesterday and it took about an extra 2 hours coming up, so here in Oklahoma this is not a normal snowstorm for us, so everything really above or below I-40 was really impacted, a little heavier than where we are today. So I think tomorrow will be a much better turnout with the weather, and people they're tired of being cooped up today in the house with the snow and want to get out and explore a little bit tomorrow probably.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tim, why don't you run us through what the setup was today for those who don't know what the Tulsa Indoor Classic is or will be in the future?
Sure. So it's really a cool, maybe we can flip it around and give you guys a tour of what it looks like. But for the indoor, what we did, we combined our traditional 3D shooting style with a Vegas face papered shooting too. So what we're doing, we're combining Vegas scores with ASA 3D scores for a total. And so everybody's kind of in the middle right now. You're kind of in that time frame where we don't really know if we need to switch over from 3D to or from indoor to 3D. So we thought, you know what, let's just shoot them both here while we're here, and it gives everybody a chance to get out. And like you said, some of the people some of our shooters, some of our good friends we haven't seen since the summer.
Yeah, it's great.
Everybody's coming back out, and the old gang's back together, reunited. So, but it's been great, and we have that going on for score, and you can also shoot a fun round if you don't want to shoot what we're doing for score. And then we have a novelty shot. It wouldn't be shot without a novelty shot. And we have some really cool prizes. I think we got a rangefinder, some metal art, a bow holder, and some cool things that we'll be giving away tomorrow at the end of the event too. So I think it's a hit, and it's something that gets us out of the house. Like I said, reunites us, and something that I hope to see happen for years to come.
For sure. So we have 20 lanes, or 20 targets, I guess, 20 shots, 7 lanes. So Brian, walk us through how do you shoot this if it's a mix between Vegas and 3D?
Yeah, so if you're on the first lane, we're just start at number 1. Right now we have it set up. We have 3 3D targets, Wild Creek targets out there. So you shoot those first 3, and then we'll pull your arrows for you. We'll judge them, score them, write them on your scorecard, come back, and then we're switch lanes. And the next one is the Vegas face. You shoot those 3 from that lane, and so on and so on. It goes down, and we've scattered those in between. And I think we have 3 shots on every lane, but 1 lane we have 2. So the Wild Creek targets, this is what's pretty exciting to me, is a lot of these targets are new. So this is the first time we've got to handle them, but it's also the first time a lot of these guys got to see these targets. And some of these guys have been shooting Delta McKenzie's here for the last little bit. It threw them off a little, man. Especially that turkey, man. That turkey that we have right there, there's just something about that thing. It's one of the closer targets that we had too, and we still had a lot of trouble with it. So it was fun to watch these guys. But everybody that was talking about them loved the targets. You can't beat the detail in these things. they're so realistic. You don't see them anywhere else. That's part of the excitement of coming to one of our shoots is you get to shoot stuff that you've never seen before. So,
and to see them indoors like this, really, you can really appreciate it, because the outside, you know, when we're shooting them at 70 to 100 yards, you know, the long bombs, you don't really appreciate the detail. But I mean, these are just quality targets, quality finishes. And I don't know that Brian mentioned it, but the wild card in this whole thing is that this is unknown distance.
Unknown.
So we have about a little over 30 yards to work with here. And so we are spacing these out, and there is 0 rangefinders allowed in this building.
The theme of the weekend is unknown, even the novelty shot for you guys out there. So, yeah, no rangefinders. It's kind of odd, though, and kind of ironic that our prize for the novelty shot is a Louisville rangefinder. So,
because they're going to need it later in life.
Yeah, you can use it later when you come to the first event in Arrowhead, March 1st and 2nd, because I know we're going to see all you guys there. So.
You come, you sign up with Amber. She gets you in the class. You're either open class or a bow hunter class, depending on the equipment that you're running. There's also a youth class. We get everybody on the line. You're going to shoot a couple, 2 to 3 3D, you know, unknown distant targets, and then immediately your next round is paper, 3 Vegas faces at an unknown distance, and then you go back to 3D. So it's like trying to throw you off. Different distances, different style of targets, different scoring rings.
Yeah.
Everything's just different, and it's indoors, so the lighting's a little trickier than like a traditional 3D archery.
It's a good hybrid event. Like, that's one thing that we like to do is we like to not be traditional on a lot of things. So, you know, even our Vegas faces, they aren't at 20 yards. We got them scattered out different ranges too. So it's like we like doing our own thing. So far, it's been reciprocated pretty good that everybody else likes it too. So that's what we're going to keep doing.
Yep, and it's you know, it's in our name. It's a 3D experience. So, you know, throwing different things out there, not doing things traditionally the way that they have been done, but adding a little twist to them, and also trying to incorporate other components of archery. So with this, we are doing ASA scoring rather than like a center IBO type scoring. So that's introducing a lot of these hunters to ASA style shooting and teaching them, you know, what an upper 12 is and calling upper 12s, and so that they can go and, you know, transition maybe from hunting into target and not have that intimidation, not knowing how to score and you know, shoot from the lines.
Yeah.
There, so.
For some of the shooters that we have today, this might be their very first introductory to anything related to an ASA event, right? So this is kind of a taste of that.
Yeah.
Even if you've shot stuff, this is a different setup. I mean, we saw some guys here today that we've seen in some indoor stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, this is different. This is not what I'm used to. So,
and the Vegas,
that's what we like.
The Vegas faces, you know, it came up on a podcast a couple of weeks back. The suggestion is like, well, why don't we make the Vegas faces at varying distances too, rather than 20 yards? And it's like, you know what, let's do that. And so, you know, you may have a 12-yard Vegas face, and you may have a 27-yard Vegas face, and it's not as easy as just going out and punching paper like you may be used to.
It kind of is an equalizer, right? Like, so I was talking to one gentleman today. He wasn't shooting, but he came with a couple shooters, and he works in an archery shop. He's well known in the ASA world. He's a good shooter, and he's like, I saw this on Facebook, and I really wasn't sure how you guys were going to pull this off. But being here, he goes, it makes sense, and it's running really smooth, and I like it. I'm going to bring my bow up tomorrow and shoot this thing. So, Amber, I know you have something special to say about these new Wild Creek targets. You have one that's a favorite. I saw a video on TikTok.
Yes, the zebra.
The zebra. Okay. have you got to shoot it yet?
I have not.
Is that going to happen right after this
Absolutely.
YouTube video? Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to have to get you on TikTok shooting the zebra. And then we got to go to work after we cut this on preparing the stage for tomorrow, right? So
Yeah, so
today's Friday,
surprise,
tomorrow.
suckers. It ain't gonna be the same if you come back tomorrow. So yeah,
we are paying out 2 days, and by doing that, you can re-enter on the second day, but the targets will be moved at different distances and giving you a different look at it. So it's a new day. You don't have to shoot both days. You can come either day, which only remaining day is tomorrow. But show up tomorrow. It's going to be a whole new course for you.
Cool. Well, I want to take a quick moment to highlight some of our sponsors. Brian, you
100%.
worked really hard on, kind of making some rounds with the local bow shops and different people. Let's kind of go through a sponsor list of who's helped us out to pull this off, because it was put together in a pretty quick time.
Couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks. So
If it's something like going forward, like we can probably roll in a bunch of sponsors that we have for our main 5 events, but this one was like thrown in our lap 3 weeks ago, and so we just started reaching out and calling people, and if you could do it, you could do it. No big deal. First and foremost, we got Wild Creek targets. We couldn't do this stuff without these guys. Big help giving us targets. Darton, Canis. We got Bill Sporting Goods helped us out, gave us some stuff for the door prizes. Tulsa Tackle and Outdoors, Antlers Motorsports with the side-by-side. We got Martin Outdoors and Tackle, and he is in the building. So if you guys want to check them out, he's got some Dartons over there. They're actually right behind us here, behind this wall. We also had Scent Thief. Big shout out to Scent Thief. I called him and was like, hey man, I know you already promised us some stuff for the other ones, but we got this other thing coming. And he said, hey, I got you. So big shout out to Scent Thief, Tybo's Archery, Oklahoma ASA, and Neil with the Oklahoma Archery podcast, doing the lives and promoting and talking and getting people in the doors for us. Another guy that's here too is Unbound Archery, bowstrings. Nick and his wife are here, so good to have them here. They always help us out with anything we need. So Academy Sports and Outdoors, they gave some gift cards too, so thank you guys for that.
Another shout out, Rolling Bones. They hooked us up with the rangefinder, hooked us up with a really good deal on it.
And our little buddy.
Yeah, don't forget him.
No, I saved him for last on purpose to
okay.
make him watch this and go, oh. Torched by Mike. Mike, appreciate it, man. He threw the bow holder and the metal artwork out.
Yeah, and let's talk about what he does for us, really, because he's always coming in clutch. Every event last year, he makes our Iron Bison target for the Iron Bison novelty shot. Every year, he gives us a brand new one, fresh paint job for every event. So we appreciate you, Mike. That's Torched by Mike. He's out of Wagner. He does metal work. So.
And I think I hashtag touched by Mike once, so don't be confused by that. Torched by
Totally
Mike is what it
different
is.
Yeah, don't go to that hashtag.
Wrong Mike. Yeah.
Well, awesome. So we're going to get ready for tomorrow. Let's talk real quickly about, like, tomorrow's the last indoor deal for us, and then we're switching gears to 3D archery, and it's 2025. It's here. Like, our first event's knocking on the door.
Close, man.
Let's talk about our first event, Tim. Where are we going?
Yeah, we're going to be back at one of our favorites from last year. We're going to be at Lake Eufaula Arrowhead State Park, and that's going to be March 1st through the 2nd. So things are coming together quick. We're already basically through January. Yeah. So we have like 1 month left. Yeah. So our trailers from here will be loaded down, ready to unload at Arrowhead State Park and get the party started for the spring. So
it's same venue, same event, or do we got anything different that we want to talk about for?
Yeah, so with the addition to the regular shot courses, we're going to have the ASA qualifier on Saturday only. So what that does is, if you guys shoot ASA, you come out and shoot the ASA event. You also have the option for a little bit of more money to come in and enjoy the rest of the day shooting shot, the 3D experience. Come in, shoot novelty shots, shoot another course or two. We also encourage you to come the next day. That way you get the full experience and shoot every course that we have. Also, for that, those people that have never seen ASA or shot ASA, we're going to leave that stuff up. The stakes will all be out. So you can go and test your luck and see if you want to decide to shoot ASA. It gives you a good chance to try it out and see what you can do. So, if you've never shot ASA, you come and grab a scorecard. You're going to go out there after the ASA event is done with your buddies, same way you do any of our courses, and we're going to tell you, hey, what class would you shoot if you were going to do this? Bow hunter. We have a bow hunter class. We have known 45, a bunch of different classes. You can pick to shoot from that stake and see what you are up against. You may score better than some of you get. You never know. But we're hoping the participation on this is a boost for ASA to kind of a membership drive. But if you want to just go back there and shoot them all from max distance, you can do that too. Or you can shoot from the kid stake all day long if you want to. Like it, whatever you want to do on
It's
that
open
course.
for anything, like a regular
Anybody.
fun shoot, however you want to do it. But the intent, I think, was to expose some people that maybe like, oh, I've heard of ASA, but I'm not sure I want to go compete with a bunch of guys. And this will allow you to shoot the course as a fun round, like as you would a qualifier, and keep score and see kind of how you would do and match that up to like what the scores were from that weekend and kind of compare. Like, oh, you know what? Like I could have been in first or second or third place if I would have just competed.
Exactly, and a lot of people, Brian touched on it. We're going to tell you which class you would shoot in too, because a lot of things I hear, from the hunter classes or the hunters that shoot our events is, a lot of people think they need to go out and get a new bow to shoot ASA, or well, I don't know what I have to do to be able to shoot ASA. So we want to walk you through that and help you see which class that you would shoot. Maybe it's a hunter class, it's a fixed pin class, or maybe you're in the open class with magnification and long stabilizers. But we want to kind of introduce you to that as to what type of gear you would need and what type of gear you don't need if you just want to get started.
I think everybody at this table shot the 145 last year.
Yep.
Was that your
Yep,
class?
that
Yeah,
was my
so we were all shooting it with basically our hunting rigs that we went out in November with. And,
Which last year was the first year for that class, and pretty big class.
it was one of the biggest classes.
One of the biggest
in Oklahoma.
classes, so
Yeah.
It's
It
one
was
of those that, there was always, you needed almost two bows if you like to do the shot style shooting versus ASA, but now they increase the speed for that class so you can shoot a faster hunting arrow. And they also, everybody's using a hybrid sight now, and so you can use a movable sight without going into an open class system. So it's really right up the alley for most hunters and what the setups they're shooting now.
Yeah, I feel like ASA did a real good thing of including that class in their format, and it gives us a platform to like seamlessly introduce hunters into ASA.
Yeah,
it actually happened at the best time for us, for not only us but for the hunter, for the shooter. Introducing that class and then having us bring these qualifiers at shot events, it just worked hand in hand, so it kind of worked out on its own. And the participation that we've had from everybody in the ASA world has been phenomenal so far, so we're excited for it.
Yeah, so excellent. We'll have an ASA qualifier on Saturday, open it up to the general public Saturday afternoon and Sunday, and that's at Arrowhead State Park March 1st and 2nd, and then we roll a few weeks later into Louisiana, right?
Yep, it's Sarepta, Louisiana. So it's going to be March 22nd through the 23rd, and that's a new state for us. So it is. The good thing about this is, though, we're touching 3 states now, and actually 4 states. But in each of those, that allows us to, with the ASA, do multi-state qualifiers.
Yep.
So the regulation, the rules are, if you're within a certain distance of each state line, then the qualifier you shoot for ASA can apply to multiple states. So that's a cool thing that we've got going on in Louisiana.
Close enough to Arkansas. Arkansas gets in on that. So
Texas, Arkansas,
Texas,
that'd be a quad state.
Yeah.
So that's at Muddy Bottoms ATV Park in Sarepta,
Muddy
Louisiana.
Bottoms. And one thing I want to add to that is we partnered up with Louisiana Bowhunter. For all you guys watching, go ahead and go jump on Louisiana Bowhunter on Facebook and follow them. They're going to be putting some info out on that as well. We're going to be hitting it hard and heavy and ready to roll to Louisiana. And we're hitting it at a time where hopefully the freaking mosquitoes don't carry us away.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cold enough, hopefully.
It's the state bird down there. So
State, dinosaur.
I lived there for a while.
So cool. So as an Oklahoman, I can go down to Louisiana, shoot the ASA qualifier, and it qualifies me. My points carry over to Oklahoma from that shoot, right? Or if I'm from Arkansas, it carries over to Arkansas, Texas, or Louisiana. And then that's the same way it is for most of our events. Our next event is in Kansas at the Flint Oak Hunting Lodge, and its geographical area will cover Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be. I'm excited for that one.
Oh,
Like that's one of the ones that I think is going to be
it's a sleeper.
If you guys have not checked out the Flint Oak Hunting Lodge yet, it's world class. when we walked into that place, we were like, oh wow, are they gonna let us do this? Like that's how like it's phenomenal.
A bunch of rednecks are gonna come screw up their country club.
You got everything you need there. They've got lodging. It looks like a mini hotel there, like set up for everybody. I can't speak enough about. You think of Kansas and you think of flatland, wheat fields everywhere. That is not what you're getting here. You are getting rolling hills. It's called Flint Oaks for a reason. Lots of rolling hills, oak tree. It's beautiful out there. Primarily a upland bird place, but they do deer hunts, turkey hunts, and stuff out there. And they are really wanting to push the archery, which is where we come in. We're going to introduce some archery stuff there with those guys, and then maybe down the road they're going to maybe have an archery range in there.
You know, that's something that we really look at when we choose these venues. These aren't just venues that come along that, you know, we put a lot of thought into the terrain and the topography that we can work with, because with shot, we want to impress you with every shot that you take on the course. And we want to give you a unique experience, you know, different shooting angles and using the landscape to really, you know, complement the course and the ranges that we provide for you guys.
So that the date on that's April 26th and 27th, Flint Oak Hunting Lodge. Go check them out. Like just Google Flint Oak Hunting Lodge. Check their website out. They offer some pretty good hunting club packages. I believe their memberships are around the $4,000 range. And when you sign up as a member, like
Get you a lot.
half of that goes towards your first hunt that you want to buy. So $2,000 credit towards hunts. That's a really good deal, and they're looking for new members, and it's world class.
Yep. And the food.
They have a cafeteria there.
It's telling you guys, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
They're good.
Food alone's worth the trip.
Oh,
right?
dude, I'm telling you. Yeah.
And then, so we finish up in Kansas, do the ASA there too, just like all of the other events. And then we roll back to a familiar place in Arkansas, Mulberry Mountain. I think that's Amber's favorite place too, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yep, we had fun there.
Bear sightings, waterfalls.
Bear sightings, snake sightings, waterfalls.
Yeah.
It's in the mountains actually, so that's like our first real event of the year that gets you into a real mountain. Tim rolled his four-wheeler down the mountain last year, and we had to push it back up.
Yeah.
That was an experience in itself.
It was.
But it's a lot of work putting targets up by hand, and
It should have been an ad for Polaris.
Yeah.
Because once we flipped it upside down and got it back going, and the handlebars were bent, we drove it out of there. So I mean, shout out to Polaris on that one.
It should have been an ad for who's it, Mayhem? Who's the, get out of there?
Insurance,
Allstate, you know.
he's the mascot.
Yeah, that was. We had probably more targets on an ATV than you should put on one, and got a little off balance and caused for a pretty good rodeo there for a second.
It was.
I think that's another fan favorite, venue. We decided to keep it in our venue repertoire for this year, and we're looking forward to going back. And that one's going to be May 17th and 18th, so hopefully a little cooler than last year there. But we're super excited about that one.
Yep.
Right. So if you're interested in lodging, they may have a few cabins left there. You can camp on site. You have to run that through the Mulberry
Mountain
Lodging Park. Otherwise, it's Airbnb. It's close to Ozark, Arkansas. And I forget the name of the little town north of there. It's pretty small.
Yeah,
but
it's
there's a lot of
right
Airbnb in that area.
I believe that's Highway 23 that goes through there. The
They call
Pig
it the
Trail.
Pig Trail, yeah.
Goes
Pig
through
Trail.
Fayetteville, and just probably some of the one of the prettiest places in Arkansas. Just
Yeah,
amazing
it's a place you can take your family. They've got kayaks.
Yeah,
and all
down
kinds
the
of
road
stuff.
you can go down there to the river. Yeah.
Bring your ATV, and there's a gazillion miles of ATV trails, so you can make a full weekend out of that one.
Oh, yeah.
Pick blackberries.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
big
right.
blackberries. And then, Amber, tell us where we're going after the Mulberry Mountain. What's our last event?
Post Oak Lodge.
Say that one more time.
Post Oak Lodge
Yes, where's that at?
in Tulsa.
Yep, so Post Oak Lodge in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's our blowout event.
Yep.
For the last one.
3 days.
3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, June 6th, 7th, and 8th. And we got a little bit more going on than shot for that one, don't we?
Yeah, we got some surprises still not completely out there yet, but yeah, it's going to be. This is a good time to explain. We've had some questions on why the ticket price is a little more. So on this one, you're getting a little more than just Shot the 3D experience. We've also partnered with Inside Outdoors TV to host the Tulsa Outdoor Pursuit Show, which is going to be 10 times more vendors. We're going to have some fishing derbies out there. They have a big pond for the kids that we're going to do some fishing derbies. All kinds of little extra events going on. We're still working on a few things out there, but most of it's finalized. It's going. That's why you're paying an extra $10 to get into this. You're going to have a lot of stuff to do. Food, music, all kinds of stuff out there. So that's why, to answer you guys' question, why that ticket price is just a little bit more, you're getting a little bit of extra going on there.
Yeah, it's going to be basically a true outdoor festival with Shot the 3D experience being part of that festival. So the $10 extra for the day pass, like that covers you for the entire festival. You're going to be able to see the live music, enjoy the outdoor expo. Your kids can go do the fishing derby. There's going to be stuff there for the women.
Working
The
on
whole
some
family,
seminars.
all 3 days, like swimming, seminars, you name it. We can't discuss exactly what all is going to be there just yet, but it's coming very soon. So like Brian said, that's a short and easy, quick way to explain, like, yeah, it's $10 more, but we're going to be announcing, like,
There's a
what all
reason.
extra you're going to be getting for that.
It's well worth the 10 extra bucks, I promise you.
And compared to the Tulsa event last year, which was at Mohawk Park, this is a completely different geographical.
Third largest hill in Oklahoma, man.
Yeah, so
Interesting fact there, Brian.
more land and more topography to work with, right? So there's zip lines out there, like there's miniature mountains at the Post Oak Lodge. You're going to be able to do shots that you weren't able to do at Mohawk Park. Mohawk was pretty flat. It was
And
a floodplain.
essentially, we're only 15 minutes away from where Mohawk was, so location-wise, it's still hitting, Tulsa area. You guys have plenty of places to stay. We highly just suggest staying at the Post Oak Lodge. It's going to be in June, and guess what? If you're staying at the lodge, they have a pool. So
they got a pool there, and there's going to be some, drinks in the evenings. So you could stay there and not worry about having to drive back. But the other option is it's 9 minutes from downtown Tulsa. 9-minute drive. There's the Osage Casino, which offers some lodging too. If the Post Oak is booked up, they're going to cut a special deal for the shot weekend on their lodging. So I would try there first. We're trying to funnel all the lodging there we can, keep you on house.
Had some questions on camping too, and we're working on that still. I don't know. There's no RV spots. I know that for sure.
Right.
But there may be some tent camping allowed, some primitive camping. So we may have a spot for that. So stay tuned on that one.
Like I said, make it. We want to make it a weekend for the family too. That's why a lot of these venues we've looked to make sure that they have lodging, that they have campsites available, and that there's more to do in the area, so that you don't have to take off if you want to go shoot your bow on a Saturday. You don't have to leave the family behind. We want you to come down, spend a few days, camp out, old school, bring a tent. It's going to be cool enough in a lot of these areas, and just include the family. We have lots of stuff for kids, and that's a target that we wanted to really focus on, is to introduce new shooters and families to what we do into archery, because it's a family sport, something you can all do together, and use those vacation days. It's a good, quick weekend staycation kind of system, and it can get you out of the house and have a good time together. So
For sure.
Cool. Well, that's the 5 events. We're going to grow next year. Brian, if you would cover some of the sponsors that we have for the season, and then I'm going to let Nick Dawa jump in here, and you guys can kind of cover it. He's one of our sponsors, Unbound Unbound Archery bowstrings. Sorry. We just want to get him on this real quick and let him kind of talk about his business, and he does a lot for us, and in my opinion, they're the best strings out there. We use them 100%. We push them to all of our customers. They're great. So I'm going to let him jump in here, and you cover some
Let's jump on first and foremost. Shot the 3D experience, brought to you by Wild Creek Targets. Our apparel sponsor this year is Canis Tactical Hunting Gear. Bows brought to you by Unbound Archery. Let's go over our course sponsors real fast. Ty Bows Archery. Go see Ty in Wagner, Oklahoma. He's got Matthews, Hoyt Prime, Bowtech, Darton, Bear, Raven. Like, he's got everything. Next one is Rolling Bone Outdoors. Rolling Bones is got a big. They're big everywhere, but we have the Tulsa hub. That's who's sponsoring us. Is Adam over there? He was with us last year. So Rolling Bones Outdoors, course sponsor number 2. The third one is Wild Creek Targets. You're gonna have one course that has all 20 Wild Creek targets. Some of these here, and we've got 20 at the house that we haven't showed anybody. So you guys are gonna see some new targets there. And of course, Antlers Motorsports, not only a course sponsor, helping us out with that side-by-side. Those guys have been phenomenal with helping us get machines. One of the biggest dealer in the United States almost.
I believe they are
back and
the
forth.
largest
Yeah.
Polaris dealer, and yeah, they put a rush on it. So if you're here in Tulsa this weekend,
Telling
just
you.
outside this door, we have a brand new Polaris Ranger crew that will be given away at the end of the season. That's already sitting here. So
First look, you guys come see it. And our last one for our ASA ranges, we've teamed up with Archery Garage. And if you guys have shot tack before, you guys have seen Archery Garage out there. They give away some hunts and stuff. Well, Tyler over at Archery Garage has helped us out and got us a course sponsorship here. And he's going to do both, I'm pretty sure, both of these courses that we have for the ASA. Also, he's got the Archery Garage app. If you guys have not downloaded that, freaking awesome app. Just getting started, but you can type that stuff in, and anywhere you're at, you're going to be able to see bow shops, outdoor stores, what events are going on. Our events will be posted on it. Anything we have, if you're driving down the road, you can set it to give you alerts, and it'll say, "Hey, bow shop ahead, 20 miles," or whatever. So it keeps you updated in the outdoor world. Also, Bill's Sporting Goods, Claremore, Oklahoma. If you guys are by there, check them out. Easton, Sever, Rolling Bones, Tulsa Tackle and Outdoors. Those guys have been phenomenal with us. We will have Tacticams on course again, so always show your pretty side out there. Don't get caught doing something dumb. We got Crispy sponsoring us this year, Unbound Archery, like Jeremy said, Summit Law Group, Inside Outdoors TV, DKM Sense. If you guys have not used DKM Sense, oh my gosh, he came out with some beads, the scent beads.
yeah.
I think he couldn't keep them in stock. They were freaking awesome. 4th Gen Hunting Co., Torched by Mike, Triple C Archery, Oklahoma Archery Podcast, Driftwood Outdoors. Luke from the Hanger Co. is hooking us up. If you guys haven't seen Luke's stuff, we're fixing to have some for our podcast table. He makes the hangers and the stands for the tables. He's got our logo on them. Holy cow, they turned out awesome. Victory arrows. Everybody knows Victory. Grab some Victories, right? Feather Snap, Defend, by Tacticam, SKB, Oklahoma ASA, Scent Thief, PaperTuner.com. That's just to name a few. We got some more that we're working on and rolling in. So
Let you catch your breath there, Brian. That's a lot to go through.
I'll
there.
tell you what. It's
But-
and getting these. I've been talking to these guys, me, Jeremy, and you.
Yeah.
Since June, the day after we quit, like working on this stuff. So
We thought there would be some downtime between
There's
the
no
last, but
downtime.
it was
No
like
downtime.
a couple of days after our last
it's
event, we
always
already
something.
started on it. But we were excited to do it, and
yeah, and we picked up some new guys from new sponsors from last year, and we're excited to have them aboard and some of the old ones. So
yep.
here we go. Without
And
further
with
ado,
that,
guys,
we have Mr. Unbound right
Hey.
here, fresh
for
out of
having
Kansas. Kansas.
Yep.
A long day. Nick Dawa.
how are you, Nick?
Awesome, man.
Good shoot today, man.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate what you guys did. It was a good time.
Well, shoot, we're glad you made it down. You were snowed in here not too long ago.
Oh,
You had the
yeah.
same. You brought this shit with you.
We
didn't you?
we got dumped on. It was awful.
But well, glad you made it. Let's talk a little bit about what you offer, man. What do you do?
So we manufacture bowstrings, like you guys said, Unbound Archery, and we use what kind of sets us apart a little bit is we're all in on the bloodline, the waxless fiber.
100%.
So as you guys know, like the wax, it collects a lot of dust and sand. It gets in your roller and gets in your cam grooves, and it chews stuff up. So a lot of people, even still, Bloodline's been around for a few years, but people find it hard to believe that you can have a completely waxless string.
Dude, I didn't touch mine. The set I had on my Torex. crawling through Arizona, Nebraska, all the shot events. Didn't have to wax them. I did have to blow them up. I am pretty rough on stuff, so like if you guys want to test something out, give it to me. But yeah, I mean, we cleaned it up and tested some of that. What's that stuff called?
The string max?
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of that. Throw a little bit of that on there. Good to go.
Yep, that's just a little conditioner that.
I can't even tell you how many shots I've had through that thing. Like,
Well, I have a testimony because I was in Colorado this summer, and Nick, the customer service, Nick sent me a set of strings to Colorado. I took my press with me, put the strings on, hunted about 23 days September through freezing, rain, everything, up and down mountains, dragging. I'm pretty rough on bows out there. Yeah, on packs, on four-wheel. Those strings look awesome, and I'm shooting them today.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate that.
the customer service 100% is what the difference is on this. I mean, a lot of people are using bloodlines, but what sets this apart on Unbound strings is literally, funny story, one of our shooters ordered some strings, and he ordered them to spec, but during the middle of production, I'm thinking PSC did a little changing on a yoke or something. We call him, we're like, man, something's not right. Jeremy's like, I don't know, Nick, what's going on? He's like, well, if it's this certain bow, it might have been this. So overnighted the things as fast as it could. It just blows our mind, like, sometimes how fast Nick gets this stuff
sometimes,
done. So.
Yeah, like you were saying with those PSE cams, some of those specs can get kind of crossed, but that's a priority. If somebody has an issue, warranty, or something's not right, then that takes the responsibility of getting it out as soon as possible. So.
And it's awesome to have that, available to you, because when you're hunting or in the middle of 3D trying to get something done and you can have somebody get to you that fast, you can't beat it.
And it makes it easy. It is a great website. You can go in a good selection of colors to truly customize your bow to the colors you want and match you on. You can't have an ugly bow. You can't be unmatchy out here. It's like wearing two different kinds of camo. Your bow has to look good. You're gonna hunt good. So
it's so funny with customers, because on one hand you have guys that they want super bright pink, yellow stuff that stands out, and then there's guys that are like, no, like it's got to be earthy, like nothing bright. Some of the brighter stuff can get a little dirty, I guess. But other than that, there's no doubt.
Looks good.
All right. Well, where can people find more information about you, Nick?
Unboundarchery.com, and we're on Facebook, Unbound Archery, and then Instagram, Unbound Archery. So.
Do you have your strings anywhere other than your house? Don't you have somebody that sells them for you? Get you in there?
Oh, there's a few guys, dealers. Bergie Bowsmith.
There we go.
He does a real good job. He's up in Minnesota. Yeah, and he's kind of unique because he has a mail-in tune service. So there's a lot, not all of us live close to a bow shop, and some guys drive a couple hours round trip. Well, his service, you mail it in, and he tunes the bow to be, shot like a machine.
Oh, wow.
And he tunes it all up, gets everything set up for you, and ships it right back to you.
I've never done that. Have you?
No, I never have. I kind of grew up the old school way where I had to learn to work on everything myself. And I don't know if you guys remember back in the day of archery talk. Logging on, you could hear about 20 different poor opinions on something before you found some good information. But you sift through the BS, and that's how I kind of had to do it. But
we're pretty lucky around here too that there's bow shops pretty close everywhere you go, man. We got quite a few bow shops around here, so never had to do that. So awesome, Nick. Glad to have you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for this, and thanks for the shoot today. I had a really good time.
Awesome.
Well, come out and see us tomorrow if you see this in time. We'll be here in Tulsa. Otherwise, check out shot3dx.com, and we'll see you at 1st of March, ready to rock and roll on the ranges.
Yep.
Sure. Can't wait to see you make a shot. Boom.